So since I brought it up, let's take a look at the Limestone Road and how that feeds into Musselman Gorge. So going up Allen Avenue, the former Limestone Road, which has nothing to do with limestone, at the top of our hill. The destination was Limestone, Kentucky, now Maysville. This is the utility access road coming up the hillside, and now we're in Brewer Heights. And Limestone Boulevard is named after the Limestone Road. Now we come down off the hill. I'm not quite sure where it is here. It might be more at the power line, which you can see on the right side. But we're coming down and feeding into US 50. And then we can see how this projects out into what I think was the original version of the Lebanon Road, now State Route 28. But let's back up and take a look going down Anderson Station Road, if I can rotate everything correctly. That way, now that way. So this is very suspicious, this bend in US 50 at Anderson Station Road. And usually when you see a Y kind of intersection like this, and it's an ancient intersection developed from prehistoric and historic trails, there used to be an X intersection there, which is the Limestone Road right here, or approximately. So let's go up the Anderson Station / Sulphur Lick route to the Musselman Gorge. Zoom in over. We're at a slightly different course, but that's what roads do to trails, change things around. The bend to the right is unnecessary for a stream. We're happy to go cross country, hop up and down terraces. And off the left was a spring at the old Anderson house. Nice place for travelers to refresh themselves. Now we're over the Hopewell Earthworks, the North Fork Works, cutting through the earthworks. You can see the mowing, and the road is the orange off to the left. Doesn't make sense to stay close to that terrace edge for a trail. Trail doesn't care about farmland. We're just going to go over cross country like that, and then because of the way I've got this mapped out, we need to hop over and take the route through Musselman Gorge. Also in pink, which I have veering off Sulphur Lick Road, but you get the point. So this I've already shown in my previous two videos, back and forth actually. The brown is a road that was finally chased out by two railroads coming through this narrow gorge. Pink is my speculation of where the trail was, hugging the hillside. Again, we don't mind crossing the stream, but we don't have to do it too many times. It's just silly. And now we come to the mouth of the gorge. So let's go to the course of the Miami Trace. And instead of leapfrogging over Roxabelle, we'll go cross country. So no need to go over this cane here in the middle of the way, so I think the trail was over to the right, the orange, and no need to cross over this stream multiple times. So again, speculative trail now on top of the road, and here it departs from the road because the road was diverted by the railroad, I think, and I forget what road it is on the left now. Then we depart over, cross over the course that we're taking, and becomes Ragged Ridge Road and off to the west. So there's a lovely gentle call, a pass between the hills here that the road takes, and the course that we're on, which is sort of an average of that road, crosses right over it. And we continue on, and again, you've already seen this in my previous video. This is just a quick video. we've got a nice hill here, and the trail would actually be happy to go over this, because this would be a lookout. Is anyone hunting us? Is our prey getting away from us? And more hills to the right. That is the abandoned road, which I believe is the original trail. And then we continue on, and we're starting to run out of hills. The trail, the Miami Trace Trail, is off to the left, or off to the right again. We're on the course, the average of it, and so forth. And then I believe that is the actual named Miami Trace Road to the right now, and the white man's farms are messing with it. They're shoving it around to stay on property lines. That's a modification. But we continue on, and I believe that this projects on to the middle of the Miami Valley, which is actually two streams, the Little Miami River and the Miami River. But this projects onto the great Miami Mound, Miamisburg, south of Dayton. So once we cross this ford of Paint Creek, way upstream, charming little gorge here, medium-sized gorge I suppose, at Rock Quarry. So if we zoom on to the mound, so after fighting with ridiculous gaps in the power of this program, let's try this. If we zoom out a little bit, and then we go over and look for the Moundsville Mound, and then we reset our view so we're looking straight down. And that's still too far out, but let's zoom out some. And then we look at the Moundsville Mound. And zoom right there over south of Dayton in Moundsville, Ohio, on the Great Miami River, or nearby, great view of it. And let's zoom out here and see what we can see. So there's the river to the left side, and I just extended the course, the approximation of the Miami Trace out to this mound, thinking it might be a good approximation. So let's force it to zoom out to the entire length of that, and of course it displays things not in the way I want, but you get the idea. So here is starting at Musselman Gorge, heading out. This, I believe, is Rock Mills on Paint Creek, and we go all the way over. Not sure what this high point is. And then this would be the Little Miami River, and then we reach the Moundsville Mound just above the Great Miami River. So let's flatten this out, and here is my speculation of if this will work for me, of the overall route of the Miami Trace, and feeding in from the nexus of what will become Chillicothe on out, Anderson Station Road, Sulphur Road here, the Musselman Gorge here, Roxabelle area, and the roads that approximate it, the actual named Miami Trace here, and then probably misnamed roads out here, Miami Trace southeast is accurate, southwest is not, northeast is not, but notice how this route, this course, this works pretty well with a straight course to the Moundsville Mound. Again, south of Dayton, the second largest mound, Adena Mound, in comparison with the mound at in the West Virginia Northern Panhandle. And so let's take a look at that again. Oh, go there. It's not cooperating. Of course not. Why would it cooperate with me when I'm trying to illustrate something? Anyhow, you get the point.